Welcome to Walt Theory, and welcome to our first inaugural episode of Walt Weekly. We're reporting for the news stories, the top 5 news stories for the week of November 23rd. Today is November 27th, Black Friday, so hope you all had a great Thanksgiving with all your friends and family and a safe and fun Black Friday. So we're starting this week off with a sad news story, I would say, especially for those who have been around the parks community for quite some time. On Monday, we had a report come out that longtime Imagineer Joe Rohde will be retiring. After 40 years with Walt Disney Imagineering, legendary Imagineer Joe Rohde will be retiring. As the modern face of WDI, Joe created and produced timeless masterpieces for the Disney parks. Joe wore many hats during his time with the Walt Disney Company, ranging from portraying Harrison Hightower at Tokyo Disney Sea's Tower of Terror to the creative lead in the construction and design of the Great Disney Park Animal Kingdom. On Monday, November 23rd, Bob Weiss, president of WDI, broke the news regarding Joe's retirement via Instagram, stating, "Joe is a real-life adventurer in life, in art, and in work, whether trekking around the mountains of Mongolia on an expedition to raise awareness for snow leopard conservation or leading project teams from Animal Kingdom to Alani to Pandora. Joe fully embodied the true spirit of adventure and exploration. He approached these experiences not as a tourist, but with curiosity, respect, and purpose. Joe has committed 40 years to bring dynamic, inventive, and diverse projects to Disney parks. While he's widely renowned for his unmatched expertise across numerous disciplines, he is also an expert in every facet of leading and managing our projects, from setting the vision to feasibility, design, and execution. His unyielding commitment to excellence across all aspects of projects, his demand for authenticity, and including diverse indigenous cultures in design and production, as hallmarks of his projects and what differentiates them from all others." Today, Joe announced his plan to retire from the company, and while I respect his decision, I know he will remain a part of our Imagineering family, a mentor to our current and future generations, and certainly the best example to our worldwide audience of what it is to be an Imagineer. Joe has been with the company, like I said, for over 40 years, and his laundry list of projects is unmatched. He was part of the creation of Mexico and World Showcase at Epcot, Disneyland's New Fantasy expansion in 1983. He was part of Captain EO, the Adventures Club on Pleasure Island, Disneyland's Animal Kingdom, one of his greatest projects, Expedition Everest, The Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, Alani, Villages Nature at Disneyland Paris, Pandora, the World of Avatar, one of his most recent projects at Animal Kingdom, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at Disney's California Adventure, and so many more projects. Joe's retirement will officially start in January of this year. I think over the next couple months, I plan to at least make one video about just the history of Joe, what he's done in the company, outside of just a simple segment in this news program. For me, Joe was basically my generation, the millennial generation's Uncle Walt. Our generation didn't get to experience Walt Disney alive, and those generations that got to experience Walt in the flesh, or at least while he was still alive, saw him on TV talking about the parks, talking about Imagineering, talking about what Disney vision was. And for me, Joe Rohde was that. He was the one that was on TV introducing the new and exciting projects, taking the fantasy and bringing it to reality, but also transporting reality to other parts of the world, as we saw with Animal Kingdom. For me, I was introduced to Joe back in 2006 during the Disney Channel specials that came out about Expedition Everest, building a ride, Expedition Everest. That for me was the first time when I understood what Disney was outside of just Mickey Mouse and Magic Kingdom. I really got to figure out and learn from Joe that it was about transporting you outside of reality, but also what him and his team did with Animal Kingdom, what him and his team did with Expedition Everest was taking those cultures and bringing them into Central Florida. And he's done that with so many other IPs and cultures. So we'll miss Joe greatly. And like I said, I want to create a standalone piece of content just to talk about what he's done. For those of you that might not know everything that Joe Rohde's done and the importance to Imagineering. So I hope everyone is inspired by Joe and keeps his tradition going forward of really authentic storytelling and doing their homework, because I think some of the current Imagineers have lost sight of that, and we've seen that with some of the recent projects. So we wish Joe the best here at Walt Theory, and hope he has a really relaxing and enjoyable retirement. Now into other cast member news. Unfortunately, we got some bad news on the eve of Thanksgiving. We got word from Vanity that 4,000 more cast members will be laid off due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of you might have heard about the 28,000 cast members that were laid off back in September, and it's getting worse. On the eve of Thanksgiving, news was broke by Vanity that the Disney company plans to let go another 4,000 cast members, as they revealed in the company's 10K filing. According to Vanity, Disney has disclosed an updated figure that includes approximately 4,000 additional layoffs, bringing the total since September to 32,000 cast members. While the initial 28,000 layoffs solely impacted the domestic parks, this figure is slightly more vague, affecting employees within the general parks, experiences, and products division. Layoffs are set to be in effect by March. The following statement was included in the SEC filing. Due to the current climate, including COVID-19 impacts and the changing environment in which we are operating, the company has generated efficiencies in its staffing, including limited hiring on critical business roles, furloughs, and reduction in force. As part of these actions, the employment of approximately 32,000 employees, primarily in parks, experiences, and products, will be terminated in the first half of the fiscal 2021. It is to be noted that with all these furloughs and terminations, that the Disney executives did restore their salaries. The senior executives did restore their salaries in late March, back to 100%. So it's not a good look for Disney right now in terms of their public image and the decision that their executives are making. So it's been interesting to see what happens in the next few months with the executives and their decisions going forward. So if you want to help out Disney cast members, I've been a big fan of WWNT, or Walt Disney World News Today, for quite some time, quite a couple of years. I've been reading their site as well as watching their content here on YouTube. I've become friends with a couple of their team members as of late. And this weekend, they are hosting a live stream to benefit the Cast Member Pantry initiative. When the pandemic started and Disney started laying off cast members, and basically when the relief bills were running out, they started to collect food and money for cast members to help them feed themselves and their families. So this weekend, WWNT is having a marathon of sorts or telethon of sorts on YouTube. So make sure you check out the link below. I'll be linking their live stream below. So make sure you go there, and also include their donation link as well. So go on there, donate to them, help out the cast members. They really need it right now, especially with the decisions that these executives have made and not bringing them back. I understand that the park capacity is lower, but it's a bad look when they are bringing their executive salaries back up to 100% and they aren't bringing back all their cast members, or at least not helping them out in some way. So make sure you help out. Us as a community needs to help out our cast members, because if it's not for the cast members, a lot of the magic that we experience at the parks would not happen. So go there, check out WWNT's live show this weekend to help out the Cast Member Pantry. On a little bit of lighter note, some of you who have been keeping up with McDonald's might have known that there are new Happy Meal toys featuring Mickey and Friends from the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway attraction that was introduced earlier this year in Hollywood studios. Last week, the toys and special Happy Meal boxes were introduced to McDonald's, but earlier this week, that changed a little bit due to an error with the QVC codes found on the game pieces in the packaging, because there is a giveaway for a Disney World Vacation included with the toys themselves. McDonald's has requested that all locations immediately stop the distribution of Happy Meal toys and boxes featuring Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. In a press release, if the codes are scanned outside of our app versus inside the McDonald's app itself, they will lead users to an error message or, in rare cases, unintended search results. The memo states that the new toys without game pieces will be arriving to McDonald's locations soon. Until the new card-free toy packaging is distributed out to restaurants, there will be generic toys and Happy Meal boxes passed out to customers. As you see here, I have started to collect these toys. The toys range from Pirates of the Caribbean all the way to Mission Space. Here I have the Pluto Jungle Cruise, the Goofy from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I have Minnie from Animal Kingdom's Dinosaur, and then also Mickey from Mission Space. So there's a lot of other great toys. I think it's a really cool line. There are two of them from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, the Goofy in the engine of the locomotive, and then there's Mickey and Minnie in the red car featured in the attraction. So I'm really excited to get the rest of these when McDonald's brings them back out. So stay tuned for those of you who have been collecting. If you haven't started collecting, it's a good time because they're really popular. One bit of advice I would like to give, especially we've talked about cast members and how great they are, is that remember that McDonald's employees aren't Disney cast members. So a lot of them aren't that willing to, hopefully they are willing to help you out in your search for collecting all these. But I've had a couple bad experiences where I've had some very rude employees that have not been very helpful and dismissive as a 20-year-old guy looking for Happy Meal toys. They haven't been super helpful. So be kind to them and happy hunting. In some exciting news, outside of the kind of downer pieces of content we've had a couple moments ago, we are seeing little nuggets, little bits of hints at normalcy coming back to the Disney parks. And this week we saw our first glimpse of fireworks at the Disney parks. When the phased reopening began at the Disney parks, especially in Orlando, the fireworks and nighttime shows were absent during this phased reopening. We saw in Magic Kingdom that a few nights ago, fireworks, the first bit of fireworks, were back in Walt Disney World. They were low bursts that were added to the new Cinderella Castle holiday projection shows. These new low bursts have been dubbed pyrotechnic pixie dust, as you can see here in these videos, by Disney. These add occasional bursts of merriment each and every night at Magic Kingdom as projection effects transform Cinderella's castle with a flourish of holiday cheer. These colorful transitions are more along the lines of pyrotechnics as opposed to full-on fireworks we're used to seeing during nighttime spectaculars. The different bursts go off in 15-minute intervals along with the transitions of the 4 different castle projections. You can check out in a link below a video from WNT. I'll be featuring below of these projections as well as these pyrotechnic flourishes. And in other exciting parks news, park hopping will be returning to Disney World coming in January 2021. For many years, normal day guests with park hopper passes, as well as annual pass holders, have been able to visit multiple parks within the same day. But in light of the pandemic, that has been not the case. Guests who have visited during the stage reopening have only been able to visit a single park with a park pass reservation in one single day. But in 2021, that'll all be changing with the reintroduction of Park Hopper back to Disney World. Starting January 1st, 2021, a park pass reservation will still be required for your first park of the day. But after 2 p.m. that day, guests with an annual pass or Park Hopper tickets will be able to head to another park. Do note that park capacity is not being increased with the return of park hoppers. The park capacity limitations may be in place when you reach your second park of the day. Full details and an ad from Disney will be added in the description below. This is a very exciting thing for those of us who are planning trips to Disney World in 2021, the option to go to multiple parks in each day. I was there about a month ago, and we were only there for a day, so we didn't really need the option to park hop, but I know for those families and parties that are going for multiple days, the option to go to Magic Kingdom in the morning to get some really fun rides and then to end their evening at Epcot is a tradition for many and a nice added bonus to be able to experience all aspects of Disney World throughout your vacation to the fullest. So that's a really exciting addition. So this was the first edition of Walt Weekly. Make sure you check in next Friday for our second episode, our second installment of Walt Weekly for a rundown of the top 5 stories for next week. Also, make sure you check in back here on Monday for our December/holiday travel guide for all of you who may be going to Disney World in the next month, so you can learn about all the merchandise and food and travel tips we have for traveling to Disney World during the holidays. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe to our channel. This is our new endeavor, one of my new endeavors, kind of a passion project of mine. So we love your support, and stick around and join this community as we continue to grow. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you comment below a story that we might have not included in this week's program. So maybe I can help learn what our community is wanting from this program. So comment a story you might have heard about this week that you want us to talk about maybe more in next week's episode, or just for us to start a conversation in the comment section below. So as always, there is a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and we'll see you real soon.